Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
As Austin Powers once said, please allow myself to introduce myself. My name is Christopher O'Brien, and I've been attending the Princeton Montessori School since I was a whiny little 2 years old. And, though I completely disagree, people say I'm still pretty whiny. If you haven't guessed by now, the virtue I relate to the most is humor. I'm the kind of person who thinks humor could and should be incorporated into any situation, most importantly, in school. And now, for my autobiography, where you'll come to understand how I became someone who values humor. Typical of all teenagers, I blame my parents. You see, I grew up in a fairly sarcastic household, so I've been surrounded by humor most of my life, along with multiple adoring siblings. Most of the discussions we have at home involve some kind of pun or joke, which everyone laughs at. At dinner, my parents often tell wildly exaggerated stories of their day, much to my amusement. Even when I'm having a simple conversation about nothing particularly funny with my parents, it always becomes amusing in the end. There's always a lot of humor at family gatherings, like when my uncle and I get into a sort of pun contest. Everything we say to each other is a cheesy joke that probably isn't funny to anyone but the two of us. When I was young, my favorite thing to do with my family was to sit and watch certain cartoons that were, of course, Montessori approved. At that age, I found everything funny and amusing, and thought of humor as a very important part of everyday life. As a family, we also watch a funny movie together on occasion, also Montessori approved, of course. I love some of the movie comedians like Steve Martin, Rodney Dangerfield, Leslie Nielsen, and Bill Murray. It's these frequent family moments when we're all enjoying a good laugh that I'm going to miss when I boarding school. Speaking of school, my attitude on humor is that if it's enjoyable at home, why not bring that important attribute with you to school for your teachers and peers to enjoy? Even in primary through elementary, I found humor in things. In middle school, despite our teachers' attempts to simultaneously educate and entertain us, we sometimes face boredom. That's just our way at this age. It's at these times that I rely on my sense of humor to stay attentive. For example, during one part of our Ireland trip, when everyone was exhausted and nobody wanted to do anything, I began throwing out amusing puns. After a few, everyone kept moving away from me because they knew if they didn't, I would unleash yet another pun. Another situation where we, as a community of pubescent kids, need humor is during our theater workshop week. Before I entered middle school, I always enjoyed watching the dinner theater the middle school students put on. Once a sixth grader, I quickly learned that your skit is considered genuinely terrible if it's not funny. And I think the ones I contributed to were all pretty amusing, judging by the forced laughter from the parent-grandparent audience. I've learned a lot as a student, and among all I've learned is the truth that if humor didn't exist, I wouldn't have made it through some particular situations these past 3 years of middle school. Humor has also helped me in many situations outside of school. In order for me to make my confirmation in our church, I was required to spend a week of my summer vacation doing community service at the Service Works program. My ever-mature perspective at the time was great. This is going to be fun. Of course, after it was over, I felt proud to have helped out. But while I was going through it, humor was my lifeline. When I'm in a rough spot or a tough social situation, cracking a joke or looking at the funny side of things helped me almost all the time. Also, when I spent the day visiting the Solbury School, the high school I'll be attending in the fall, I made a couple sarcastic jokes, and everyone thought it was pretty funny, which I thought meant I was a pretty cool future freshman. I hope that other communities I join in the future, like high school, will allow me to be myself the way Princeton Montessori has. Writing this speech has actually reinforced my belief that humor is important, and how tough life would be without it. Humor makes me actually want to go to school every morning, makes me want to improve my family time with the addition of relentless puns. Humor allows me to make parties more entertaining, to connect more meaningfully with friends, and hopefully make new ones along the way. I'd like to share a quote. I'm struck by how laughter connects you with people. It's almost impossible to maintain any kind of distance or any sense of social hierarchy when you're just howling with laughter. Laughter is a force for democracy. And this was said by none other than John Cleese and Monty Python. As I transition to being a high school student at the Solbury School, I'm counting on this asset to open doors for me, strengthening the possibility of friendships, and making my load feel lighter as responsibilities increase. I'm going to finish the speech by thanking the middle school teachers for helping me learn new things and tolerating me from day to day. I'd also like to thank my family for helping me and supporting my awesome jokes. Lastly, I want to thank everyone in my grade for providing a fun atmosphere full of humor every day at school. Though it has nothing to do with humor, I would like to end by performing a musical piece. As some of you may know, I've been playing guitar for quite a few years now, and I'd like to show some of what I've learned.
Yeah, Chris.